Why do people glorify and romanticize mental illnesses on social media? Specifically TikTok. Sometimes is used as a quirky personality trait. Mental illnesses tend to have this effect. For example, the conception of, I'm anorexic, not I have anorexia. And a side of anorexia is that people giving you attention, worrying about your anorexia reinforces it. It means the behavior to lose weight is working and it's noticeable. Of course, this is a double-edged sword because if you want to cure it, you have to give attention to it. But some kinds of attention are not healthy. Also, there is this whole movement of accepting mental illness and normalizing it in a way. On one hand, it's needed because sufferers suffer more when they are marginalized. But at the same time, this trend creates that effect where they want to normalize and get some clout off of it. Like this woman who pretended to have Tourette's. As someone that has lived with severe clinical depression, I don't believe 99% of them actually have a fucking clue what real depression is. You wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy, let alone try to show it off. It's good to normalize mental health issues so that if you're struggling with it, it's not such a big deal to get help. Hey, look at all these well-balanced people that struggle with the same thing you do. You're not alone. You can overcome it. I agree with what everyone else said. But I'd add that for those who actually do have those mental illnesses, it could be a coping mechanism. It's easier to poke fun at your problems instead of actually addressing them. Attention seeking. That's the reason. A lot of the people posting and watching TikToks are kids. When I was a teenager, I was also drawn to the tragedy of mental illness. It feels nice to be soothed by strangers and to be less responsible for your happiness. Most people grow out of it, I think. The WSJ just did an article on teenage girls developing tics from watching hours of TikTok. Tourette's compilation videos. So that's a thing now, I guess. I think that sometimes people are really prone to misdiagnosing themselves. People will make videos on TikTok about a few symptoms of their mental illness. And I find sometimes those symptoms can be widely experienced but not always mean you have said mental illness, especially when you just experience a couple of the symptoms briefly mentioned and think that completely sums up the diagnostic. People might have these kinds of moments where they're like, wait a second. I do that one thing too. Does that mean I have insert disorder? /single quote. Some people just want someone to relate to. Not everyone's depression, BPD, eating disorder, etc., is the same. Some people want to share what they're going through in an informative way. For example, a woman with narcolepsy has a TikTok account about her narcolepsy. Purely informational. Also, some people just need to vent. Most of the comments in this thread I've seen are negative towards them, saying that they can't possibly have depression because they have enough energy to post videos. Well, joke's on you, bud. I've been clinically diagnosed and my life isn't 24/7 lethargy. Not everyone has the same experiences. I'll probably get some downvotes for this one. Or perhaps nobody will see it. But I really don't mind. Basically, people are trying to cope with their mental illnesses and share information about them so they're less misunderstood. It depends on which side you're on. Apaxial on TikTok, there are many who want attention for themselves. For many reasons that doesn't justify what they're doing, and there are some individuals who want to educate about what it means to have or how they get over it or deal with it, or they just want to show that other aren't the only one that deal with depression, etc. As you can see, I want to believe in the good in people. I don't think all of it is attention seeking. but definitely some are. A lot of what I've seen is to bring awareness about the different mental illnesses and to destigmatize them. A lot of people who actually have mental illness can be embarrassed about it, in denial, and not want to reach out for help. It's good if you want to spread awareness. But if the same is used to seek attention, online credit worthiness, then it's a cruel joke. Coping mechanism. Why is your TikTok algorithm showing you these videos? For many years, mental illnesses were something to be ashamed of, to be hidden, never talked about. I'm glad they all over social media. I'm glad we are talking about them. The more they are out in the open, the more likely someone is to get help so they can live with it. Maybe one day mental illness will be as shameful as needing glasses or contacts. Most people don't want to live with a mental illness. They have no choice. It is living proudly with the illness. Not wanting to have them but being proud of your life in spite of your issues. Same for physical disabilities. Just because you see someone is disabled doesn't mean they want that. But would you want to ban everyone with a disability from social media? I don't understand your take, TBH. I don't see any examples of people glorifying or romanticizing things. People use humor to cope. Some videos I've seen aim to explain what the experience is like. And others are just jokes. What? Are we supposed to just stay huddled in a dark corner forever? There was a period where I wanted to have depression. But it wasn't because I wanted the symptoms. It was because I wanted an explanation for some of the stuff going on with me. Because I thought if it wasn't a mental illness and was just the way I was, then I couldn't get better. I hear a lot of, it's for attention, and, it's to fit in, and other variations. And I strongly disagree. When I was in my early teens, I got sucked into the romanticization. I was struggling with numerous mental illnesses, developing an eating disorder, and engaging in self-harm, and knew no one else who struggled with it. The only people who knew about it were my parents. And they were not even remotely understanding. I felt so fucking alone. And so completely invalidated. It was like I was being fucking gaslit by the people around me into thinking that it was all made up. When you're dealing with that, you seek out people who are going to validate your experiences, not call you crazy, and who can relate to you. For me, that meant the internet. Without guidance and support, I was in online spaces with a bunch of other teenagers in the same position. And none of us understood what we were going through fully. And we had no idea how to navigate it. We just knew that we felt out of control and like we couldn't get better. There was no light at the end of the tunnel for us. So we had to create light. That's where romanticization came in. We sort of gaslit ourselves into thinking, you know what? This shit is just fucking great, open mouth smile, because what the fuck else were we gonna do? It was like we had to just accept our fate and come to terms with it. And that's how we did it. We pretended that the hell we were experiencing was actually not hell to try and cope with our situation. I did end up getting the treatment I needed, and am no longer in that space. But prior to that, I had no insight to understand that the coping mechanism of romanticizing my illness and maladaptive behaviors was not the solution. TLDR. That's all it is. A coping mechanism used by people who feel utterly hopeless and powerless in their situation and don't have the insight to find appropriate ways of coping. Therapists attempting to destigmatize mental health illness. Those who struggle with mental health illness, who are sick of being stigmatized and want to feel accepted. These people may also want to help anyone who may believe they have mental health illness but feel concern about seeking help. Undiagnosed individuals who have done research, checked all the boxes, and have negative experience with medical professionals who refuse to participate with self-aware patients who might actually know themselves. Those who like to jump on a trend for attention, making the stigma worse by spreading misinformation.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.